Dr. Empath here, school psychologist and energy healing practitioner, and this is T.I.M Talks.
Hey, welcome to T.I.M Talks Season 3, where we're here to put therapy in motion by bringing you some of the most dynamic mental health and wellness professionals from around the world. We can officially say that this season. I'm your host, Daniel Brooks, owner and creator of Good Counsel LLC, where we're here to make healing possible. And as you can see, we're filming live from Good Counsel Studios throughout the season. I'm super excited. This person, our first guest for this season, is near and dear to me as we both graduated from the Hampton University, where we both received our degree in psychology. And then she went on for whatever reason to go to this other place that has the same initials, HU. I don't know why she went there, to Howard University, where she received her school psychologist degree, her master's degree from Howard University. And then she went clear across the country to the University of Southern California, where she received a doctorate. She received mentoring from spiritual coaches from around the world. She has mixed psychology, spirituality, and science to create what she calls PsyChakra Therapy. She calls herself an empathic psychologist. I don't want to mess it up anymore. I can't wait to learn more. Welcome none other than the Dr. Empath. Welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Good. I'm glad to have you. I know you're all the way on the West Coast. I appreciate you jumping on with us this evening. How you been? How COVID been treating you?
Actually, it's been pretty good. For us, it's been difficult. However, just being able to have that time to really look into yourself and figure out truly what you want to do within your life. It's been a great opportunity just to really explore the things that you don't get to explore because of work and all the other things that you have going on in your life. So
I love it. You're absolutely right. That's the key point, is trying to recalibrate how you look at everything. So tell us a little bit more about you. I gave you a brief intro. What else should the people know about Dr. Empath?
Well, you pretty much said everything in terms of I am a school psychologist. I provide therapy for children as well as families and adults. So I love that part of myself. However, I knew there was something else missing for myself, and I knew that there was more that I wanted to explore. And for myself, I wanted to explore some of the things in terms of just really embodying the holistic health and mind, body, and spirit. And so when I start digging deeper into that, going to different spiritual classes, becoming a Reiki practitioner, and then doing that and going into love healing and energy work, I realized that you can really tie in both, that it's actually best to kind of incorporate both, because it's not just about having these conversations and learning about your emotional behaviors. It's also about understanding that your body, your energetic body, your vibrations cause you to actually do certain things and to feel certain things. Wow. And so when you realize those two, you can incorporate both. And it becomes a wonderful spiritual experience for a lot of people.
I love it. I don't want to get too ahead of myself because I know I got all these questions, but let's start here. What drew you to mental health in the first place? Like, how did you even have the idea to go into psychology and get started in the mental health field?
It's actually very interesting because for me, starting out at Hampton University, I wanted to be a forensic psychologist. So I already liked science in that way. Yeah. I just wanted to be a forensic psychologist. I loved watching CSI and all those crazy shows. Yeah. I was like, I want to do that. I want to see why people are so crazy sometimes and do crazy things. And along the way, you and I both had Dr. Adolph Brown, as an academic dean, and he just kind of allowed me to explore mentoring children and being in the school system. And so I fell in love being in the school system.
That's cool.
Yep. And so through that, I became a school psychologist. And I just really loved working with kids because they're young. They're trying to understand the world. They're trying to rewrite their own type of lifestyle in a sense too. And so for me, I really gravitated towards the little kids at first, and then it ended up being high school. And along the way, I had to embrace it and realize that a lot of our own traumas and issues stem from childhood. So being able to see that was awesome.
I love it. I love it. So let's just also go here. Let's start a little bit. Dr. Empath, tell us a little bit about the name and kind of how that came together. I love it.
Thank you. So it's actually very interesting. So in the beginning of my little spiritual journey, I was into doing the meditation, understanding about myself, really understanding about chakras and aligning your chakras and understand that's part of like your energetic body, your energetic centers. And so I was really into that. However, I was still looking for who am I with this? Who am I as an individual with me understanding my spirituality? So I ended up finding this awesome individual named Oliver who has this amazing retreat / training called Authentic Living. And you pretty much go through a journey of different trainings, and then you end up going to Sedona for about 5 days. You eat clean, only drink water. You're going out into the wilderness and exploring yourself and your energy. And it was an awesome experience. And during that experience, I was meditating and I just knew I needed to do more. I needed to step into the spirituality piece of psychology and science and spirituality. And I'm an empath. And so being an empath, you understand people's energy. You can actually feel people's energy very quickly. Pretty much most psychologists, honestly, are empathic. They just don't know it. You know what I mean?
It just, not to cut, I didn't really understand the word until I started following you. Then I said, what is this empathic stuff? And from there, I've been reading it just because after following you, and you're right, most of us are have those empathic capabilities. Wow.
Yes.
That's really awesome. People
who are psychologists don't realize that. That's part of the reason why you like psychology, is because you can understand other people's, emotions, feelings, thoughts. And so for me, it was like, you know what? I want to be called Dr. Empath because it pushes people to, just like how you did, learn about being empathic. What does it mean? And it helps people kind of step into it in a way of not feeling like it's hocus pocus or the side of things that we hear about.
Evil witch type stuff.
It's way bigger than that. That's the conception of it. And, we're at a point where we need to really understand why this is out here, why it was brought to us, and really what it can do for us.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Just your mixture and taking, because with good counsel and with therapy motion, that's why we started, is that we're all about innovation. We're all about mixing things that don't normally, exist or are outside of the normal, box of therapy and of treatment. Because I've created what's called Motivate the Game, that we mix mental health therapies with football training, right? So we mix those two together. So hearing how you do that is amazing. So I know you talk a little bit, I read a little bit up, on your website, you talk a little bit about how you went on a journey of trying to understand your spiritual gifts, right? How I think a lot of us felt like we're just good with people. I know you talk about this as I'm just good with it. I can feel this energy. I'm just good with kids. But you kind of talked about it being a spiritual gift. So 2 parts of this question is, how did you find that spiritual gift? And do you feel as if everyone has one?
Yes. So to answer the second one, because that's the easiest one, yes, everyone has a spiritual gift. It's part of your soul purpose. Your gift is your soul purpose. It's the part of you that really is here on this earth to do. And so what we get kind of programmed to do, in a sense, our society and our world programs us to think we have to find a job, we have to work, we have to make money so we can survive. We think on that surface level kind of part about ourselves, where it's really about making ends meet or making money to become successful. And not realizing that we are here on this earth as beings to really help in certain ways the community, the world. And you have to figure out what is it about you that is here on this earth to do that for. And so when you realize that, that becomes your soul purpose. And your soul purpose is part of your gifts.
Wow.
So when we talk about psychologists and other individuals who are like, I'm just good with this, or I'm just good at that, that's not just. that is part of your gift. And you think and dig deep within yourself, there's a gift about you that creates that thing to be easy for you to do, for you to be good at it. You're not good at it because you even really worked hard. You're good at it because it's part of who you are.
Wow.
And so you have to really recognize that and realize you're here to find your soul purpose. You're not here just to work and find a job and work, a 9 to 5 for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
You're here to figure out what is it that you're here for, and to hit the ground running doing those things, and to feel like happy and whole within yourself.
Wow, I love it. I didn't know this was going to be a therapy session for me. I needed to hear that. I absolutely love it because, that's, been a lot of my journey over this past year, is that I tell people all the time, and it sounded crazy, but even hearing you as I accepted more, is that, everything I'm doing with Good Counsel was kind of dropped in my lap by the Creator on January 1st of this year. It was, look, I need you to do this. I was kind of going through this field, couldn't never really leave it, and didn't know what I was good at until kind of this year when everything kind of fell into place. Wow, I love it. Yep. So now, as you take these spiritual gifts and you take, not just being good at something, but you went out and got as many certifications as possible. You just jumped head first into this world. Tell me a little bit, I could be saying it wrong, Reiki and geo-love healing, right?
Yes.
A little bit about, that process.
Yes. So for me, I commend all individuals looking to do this type of work. And so, but for me, I didn't want to just read and then say I'm good at it. I really wanted to get the training and learn from individuals who eat, breathe, and sleep this type of stuff. So that way I can have the knowledge to provide the best support for other individuals. So for me, it did start with Reiki. And Reiki is more about just energy healing, really finding the chakras that are not aligned and being able to balance them out through energy healing. Wow. And so with geo-love, though, geo-love is a love-based healing, which utilizes sacred geometry, which people don't realize. Sacred geometry isn't just it's cool to put in your earrings or it's cool to put on your shirt. Sacred geometry is utilized for actual healing. And so when you realize that this has been utilized years and years ago, you find out that sacred geometry can be used for healing. It could be used for being able to manipulate energy in order to provide the energy that you're looking for. And so what geo-love does is it helps you learn how to heal others emotionally and physically through sacred geometry.
Wow.
Which is beautiful. It's a beautiful energy. It's a beautiful experience to do. One of my favorites. That's why I keep going back to training to learn more and more. But the individual who created this was Oliver Nino, and he is an amazing spiritual activator, we call him. He pretty much knows how to activate people's gifts, help people realize what their true gifts are, what their soul purpose, and learn how to utilize geo-love through that. So
wow, because you can spend an entire, for me, I spent 34 years, I guess, looking for trying to, embody that gift that I knew I had, but didn't know how to tap into it. That's phenomenal. You're giving me chill bumps just hearing it and learning about it from. So from those trainings and learning, getting those certifications and things of that nature, you created what's called PsyChakra, right?
Yes.
Tell us about it. I'm not even going to assume. Tell me about PsyChakra.
So PsyChakra pretty much allows you to utilize both the behaviors and characteristics of mental health and put them together. So it's really utilizing the scientific, the spiritual methods, the beliefs and practices, and you're combining it into one. So that way you're doing like a true holistic health and holistic healing. Wow. So I utilize the chakra system to understand the people or the individual, the client's chakras, and understand what's not aligned, but then taking color therapy with it and utilizing colors to understand people's energy and what they're feeling. Wow. And so that's a whole nother side of things that we don't realize, what we decide to wear, our color that we decide to wear, to the nail polish color we decide, to the colors that we decide for our wedding. All those things, all those colors have to do with your emotional health, your healing. Really? Yes. People don't think about these things. I mean, we've gotten so we've gotten so far away from the true meaning of why we understand color, what colors really truly represent. We get really lazy with it. We just think that it's just colors. Yeah. But when you gravitate towards a color and you're like, oh, I just love this color, it's actually telling you that you're in a specific space within your life for you to love that color. So, wow. So I utilize, which is called color mirrors. So that was another training that I got, color mirrors, which helps you understand that kind of mixing colors and understanding the certain colors mean certain things within your mental health and your own behaviors. And so I utilize that system as well as the chakra system, as well as modern therapy, traditional therapy, to combine it together as one holistic health of a therapy session or practice.
Wow. You got me excited. And I've been around a lot of therapies, and I'm really, really intrigued and interested. Is there any, I like to do this on any of our episodes, anything that you can I could be your guinea pig, anything you could, I guess, say in the moment, because, I guess looking at colors, red is my absolute favorite. As you can see, a lot of my stuff with Good Counsel is red and black and has some, those things. That's been forever. Anything you can speak to the people about it?
Yeah, so it's funny because red has to do with your root chakra, which has to do with your grounding and security. And so a lot of the times, especially men, love red, which is interesting because red has to do with stability, has to do with finances, has to do with truly centering yourself and being grounded within yourself. And so a lot of men like to use red and not realizing that men naturally have this masculine energy of wanting to be strong and grounded and safe and secure. And so when you choose red, a lot of the times you're actually saying I'm trying to ground myself. I like to ground myself. I like security. I like to keep security. And so when you realize that when you're constantly wearing red, you're constantly trying to embody your grounding, embody your security, your safety net.
Wow. That shows how nervous I was for this interview. So I can put my red on to ground myself. Wow, that is absolutely phenomenal. Wow. And it's funny because, there's different pieces of Good Counsel, and it took my wife to suggest that I use different colors for each kind of piece of Good Counsel. So I have Good Counsel where we connect individuals to therapists, which is red and black. Then I used T.I.M Talks, which is the education piece, and we do use lime green and white for that. And
that's
then
green. Yeah.
Really? And then I use for our Motivate the Game section where we do mental health for athletes. That's black and yellow. So we use gold and yellow for that side. Anything to any of those other colors?
Yeah, and that's funny because the gold, that yellow color has to do with the solar plexus, which has to do with confidence, joy, really having that piece of so athletes, confidence, And then the lime green has to do with the heart chakra, which has to do with love, nurturing, just that calm, beautiful, almost feminine energy in terms of the nurturing piece of energy. Yeah. So it's interesting that you picked those colors.
She hit the nail on the head because I was going to make everything red and black. So I'm super happy.
Yeah, your wife is very intuitive.
that is. Don't say that too loud. Then I could be a therapist. No, that is phenomenal. So with PsyChakra and with geo healing, the Reiki, the all of those pieces, what does a session look like with you? Is it face to face? Can it be now everything I guess is telehealth wise?
Yeah.
What does it look like?
Everything is pretty much remote right now, but you can come in once COVID is gone and free. Pretty much you can do remote. You go on to Zoom and we first have a conversation. A lot of the times I like to do a pre-screen of just some of the things that you may be encountering because some people want to tell a little bit of what's going on with them. Sometimes I don't like to do that at all because for those individuals who are a little more skeptical, I ask them not to give me anything. And I use my own intuitive skills to pretty much tell them what's going on. And so a lot of the times it helps people feel more comfortable because they realize that I'm not necessarily just thinking about this on top of my head. I actually can understand people's chakras. I can pretty much see somebody and look at somebody and kind of know where they're at. And so we do that first. So we do an intro of the things that they're, having trouble with. I do a look at the chakras. I let them know what chakras are not balanced. Then we go through the color mirrors, which is I will give you a round of different color bottles. I wish I actually brought it with me, but maybe I'll go back and go get it for you guys. You can see each bottle is a different color. And so what I do is I have this PDF file that I allow the person to go through, and I ask a question. What color represents for you when you're going through your trauma or you're feeling this certain way or anger or whatever we're talking about? Pick a color that represents that for you. And they're going to go out and look at all the different colors. There's about 84, I think, all the different colors. And you're just going to pick which one. And then I'm going to tell you what that color represents.
Wow.
Yep. And so pretty much that's how it goes. It just pretty much allows you to kind of see the colors that you even choose. The color that you're thinking about is what really tells you kind of what's going on with you and your own emotions and the feelings behind it.
That is phenomenal. Wow. Yeah. That is awesome. So is there a certain number of sessions or anything that a person that you recommend for a person to go through or can last as long as it needs?
Yeah. So I like to tell people, let's do one session first, and every about few weeks, if they like to, they can do a session. I prefer like once a month because what ends up happening is after that session, we do a healing. I do normally a healing on the person. So I don't like to just talk about it and then that's it. I want to actually do a healing that opens up that specific chakra or opens up that specific gift to allow that person to purge. So purging is a very interesting situation where it allows me to open up your energetic body, your centers. And what it does is it actually purges out the energy that doesn't serve them anymore. So for instance, let's say they have abandonment issues. I will go through the chakras that are not aligned and the ones that need to be opened up. And I also do some other energetic situations that allows the individual to kind of release that energy.
Wow.
What ends up happening is you purge. And what purging is it's a release. A release can happen in different ways. It can happen emotionally, where you start bringing up those feelings come out, and you start to feel the abandonment issues, you start feeling it, and it comes actually out. So whether you cry about it, you may get angry. Some people actually have physical. It may make them have to go to the bathroom often. Some people get sick, get maybe hot sweats. Basically, your energy, your energetic body, because we're energy. We're not technically solid beings. We are all energy. The energy gets pulled out. And so when you release those energies, it helps you purge. And once you purge, it's pretty much gone.
Wow. So the purging process, obviously, like you said, looks different for each person.
Yes.
And I can imagine, depending on the amount of negative energy that needs to be purged, can last longer, do more.
It can be more intense, and it could also last longer. For me, I remember my first purge, it took 2 days for it to purge because I was keeping it in. And I wasn't necessarily realizing that I needed to open up more. So if you are going against the purge, it will sit and it takes a little bit longer. But when it comes out, it comes out. And so for me, how I purge, I get angry. I have this whole spiel of how I pretty much word vomit. I word vomit it all out. I say exactly how I feel about it. I get frustrated and then I start crying. And that's how I do my purge. I purge that way. It's very verbal. It's very, very verbal. But once you're done, you feel better because you actually released it in a way that your body is supposed to. So that's why it's different for every individual. Some people aren't necessarily talkers. They sweat it out. Some people need to sweat it out. Some people need to, do it a different way of purging it out. It just depends on your body. And truly, what your body really needs.
Wow.
So it's a beautiful experience. It's a very beautiful experience.
You can do all of that through a telehealth session.
Yes. Yes.
Wow. You got me excited.
Because you got to think about it. Energy is just energy. Energy has nothing to do with even a physical connection. It's a connection just through ourselves. That's why when you talk to somebody and you're like, oh my God, I could talk to you on the phone for hours. You're connecting with their energy through the phone.
I'm gonna tell my wife that. That's why she married me. I connected with that energy. I love it.
Yeah. So these are some of the bottles, as you can see here, that I talk to people about. So you have your blue one here, which has to do more with your throat chakra blue. This is a dark blue, which can have to do with your intuition. You have your orange, which is your sacral. That has to do with the lower part of your body, your sexual energy. We have the red bottle. The red has to do with security, your crown chakra. Yellow, solar plexus, confidence. So all of these bottles have to do with what you're feeling. And so when we talk and have those conversations through PsyChakra Therapy, we pretty much, I ask you, okay, well, which color for you represents you being frustrated with your husband? And then you could pick the color. And then I would basically break it down. You pick this color because you're feeling insecure. If you pick the red, you're very insecure. You don't have a safety net. Why do you feel like it's unsafe to be with your husband? And then that's where doors wide open. And
I love it. So it's almost like a gift and a curse for you, because the meaning of you feeling somebody's vibes is like real for you. Like I can imagine, it's like a gift and a curse. Like you can feel that.
Yeah, it can be, because there's times where I'll be like, okay, I get it where they're at. And that's why unconditional love is so important. People don't realize the truest form of really getting close to God is love. When you are able to love anyone at any time for any reason. And so with this type of modality or therapeutic practice, you really have to be in a space of love, because you do see people for really truly who they are. And you have to realize that every individual on this earth, even Trump, he has his own traumas that cause him to be the person that he is today. Wow. And so when we understand the traumas that we have as ourselves, we recognize that we're all loving individuals. We just all been through stuff that take us to the place that we are today. Yeah.
It causes us to use certain ways to protect ourselves and put up certain walls. Wow. And what do you think are the number one, I guess, benefits when someone goes through PsyChakra therapy or through sessions with you? Is there anything that they can expect to, aside from the purging, anything they can kind of expect to kind of walk into after those sessions?
The true part about it is the realization that you're really truly releasing energy and releasing the trauma or the frustrations or whatever you're going through, truly, not just with your mind, but through your body as well. Wow. And so although I love traditional therapy and it is a great practice, we're not realizing that that's more for the mind. We're really helping changing people's limited beliefs through the mind, not realizing that a lot of people's patterns and behaviors also stem through the energetic body. Because how we do things, it's a trigger for us. It's a feeling. So what do? We protect ourselves. We do certain behaviors because it feels good. It makes our body calmer. It makes our body feel better. And so although our mind tells us, Dottie, don't throw the computer. Dottie, don't throw the computer. That's wrong. My body is still wanting it because that's what I'm used to. It's my trigger. It's my way of exuding that energy. So when I throw the computer, I feel better because my energy wants it. So even though we do the whole mental health piece mentally, we also have to remind ourselves we're still energetically connected. And so we have to really release those parts of ourselves as well.
Yeah. Wow. And I didn't know it went that deep, because I know when I'm working with young people, when we're talking about anger management, I hate the word management, but what I always tell them is that angry energy doesn't just disappear just because you're not mad. It has to go somewhere. So we always have, and that's kind of where the idea of Motivate the Game came from, is like we have to let that energy through movement through our football. Now hearing that, wow.
Yeah, so you have some kids who they're so triggered that they can't just choose to do better. They have to learn their body in order to release it. Okay, I'm feeling angry. Why am I feeling so angry? I feel insecure. I feel upset. Okay, that's my root chakra. How do I do that? I need to ground myself. Let me go take a walk. Let me go run in some grass. Let me go and eat. Like, it's even about eating foods. People don't realize eating potatoes is actually a grounding food.
Wow.
So you can actually eat potatoes in order to ground yourself. So if you are all over the place and you just feel very airy, you can actually eat potatoes and it helps ground you. So also understanding that some of our foods actually help with our chakras. And
see, again, I love potatoes. That's why I'm so chunky. See, I love it. I love it. But
you really like to ground yourself. And if you dig deep, you'll probably figure out that within your childhood, you probably had something that didn't allow you to feel grounded or in control.
Most definitely. Wow.
And that's why.
And hearing that, now it can also help with, and not adding to your practice, but I can imagine how people who ground themselves or try to ground themselves through substances or substance abuse and things, so giving them a proper way to ground themselves.
Wow. That's where addiction's coming from. Addictions come from you're feeding something that within your body that you are really yearning for.
Wow.
And for you, or maybe for other people, eating may be a great way to ground themselves because it makes them feel settled. It makes them feel full, right? Not realizing that that's because for probably a lot of part of their lives, they've had situations where they felt unstable. They felt like their security was ripped from them multiple times.
Wow.
So they're constantly feeding that because they haven't necessarily cleared that energy yet. Or learned how to clear.
I love it. So is that, as we're coming to a close, is there anything that you can suggest that a person could just do daily that can help to, I guess, ground them, or just anything with their chakras that you kind of tell some people that, even myself, that I could do on a daily basis that could help?
Absolutely. For especially my people who are just learning, the easiest thing to do is going on YouTube and typing in chakra music. Easiest thing ever, because what we don't realize too, music has to do with energy, and so certain sounds actually create certain parts of our chakras to align. So if you type in chakra music, you'll get all these types of different music that has to do with each different chakra. They have the 7 chakras. They have all types of music that you can play while you're folding laundry, while you're doing your office work, whatever the case may be. Sometimes I play it while I'm going to sleep. It's a way to align your chakras. That's an easy, quick fix in a sense. It doesn't necessarily change everything. It doesn't take away, some of the limited beliefs or the true traumas that you have to do therapy, PsyChakra Therapy or traditional therapy with. But it does start you off right. And you'll start to realize that you wake up better. You start feeling better. You start being in a better space. So I tell people all the time, watch what music you're listening to, because we're not realizing that some of these beats are actually low vibrational beats.
Wow, I absolutely love it. That is, oh my God, you got me super excited. So, and every episode we try to ask every person who comes on is just what is your goal for the future of mental health, even in your practice, number one, and in mental health in general. Where do you see the future of mental health, or where do you want it to go?
Man, I honestly want us to get to a place where we are able to all come together and truly find holistic health. I think what it becomes frustrating is when we're trying to help people understand the scientific piece. A lot of people, especially who are religious, don't understand that science is not a bad thing. Science is part of God. It's what God created for us to utilize. And so we have to get rid of the stigma. We have to stop saying mental health isn't, going to a therapist isn't right, or we have to get away from all the stigma of mental health, science, and spirituality.
Yeah.
We just have to stop and really look at, okay, what do we need to do for ourselves to really truly help us heal mind, body, and spirit completely. And so I would love for mental health to get to a space where we are utilizing science, we're utilizing spirituality, we're utilizing behaviors and mental health as a whole to really help people heal from the inside out.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. How can people get in contact with you?
Yes. So you can go on my website. That is empath333.com. Or you can actually email me if you have some questions and you're trying to figure out what services you want. I love being able to talk to, just anyone who's looking for support and help. You can do that at dr.empath333@gmail.com.
I love it. I love it. And can you practice for, we're on the East Coast, you're on the West Coast. Can you practice with anyone across the country? Really? Wow.
Absolutely. Anyone. I actually had somebody in Iceland that contacted me before. So
wow.
I'm open to anybody that needs it and wants the experience. And, I normally gravitate towards individuals who are teeter-tottering. They don't know about it all the way, but they're really interested and they really want to understand. So I love those individuals who are my brand new, fresh, fresh out the box type of individuals because they need to understand it more. And once they do, it's all great work. So
I love it. I love it. I love it. Dr. Empath, I can't thank you enough. This was amazing. Like I said, I'm probably going to be reaching out because I love energy. I love, spirituality. I just love all those pieces because I tell people all the time, I have emotional intelligence, so to speak. And that's something that I pride myself in. And now hearing you, then that's a real skill to have. So I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me.
You have a great and we'll be talking to you soon. Thank you.
All right.
Thank you guys for tuning in. That was the first episode of season 3. As you saw with Dr. Empath, all of us have gifts. And that's the importance of T.I.M Talks, therapy, motion, good counsel. Everything that we do is we're here to really make your healing possible. So you can see all the different genres and types of healing, therapy, emotional support, mental health healing, anything that you can think of, we're here to bring it to you. I'm super excited about the future and everything we have going on. Be sure to tune in for our next episode where we're going to be talking about trauma, EMDR therapy with Felicia Wingard. Can't wait to talk to you guys. This has been T.I.M Talks. Peace.
Hey, this is Felicia Wingard with Empower Girl Counseling LLC.